Hi, welcome back to the Busy Corner. This is lesson 7, and today I'm just going to provide you with some updates about the stand itself and some knitting techniques. It's been almost a year now since I designed the stationary rod stand and the techniques for it, and I've made about 150 scarves on the stationary rod. So I've learned a lot, and as I learn these things, I'm going to pass them on to you. So first of all, what I've discovered is and this was through doing some craft shows here in the last 6 weeks or so. I live in northeastern Ohio, so that's neither here nor there, but that's where the shows took place. And I found that people actually wanted to buy these stands. And so I've made kits available for $25. Each stand takes me about 2 hours to put together, and they are not perfect, but they'll work perfectly. And they are made, the stand is still made from the 1/2 inch PVC Schedule 40 pipe, but I've made most of the cover pipes out of thin wall pipes that look like this. They're 160 to 200 psi, and that's simply to reduce the cost and the weight for shipping. Now, what I discovered the hard way is, this is very hard to cut, the thin wall, with these ratchety type of cutters. They want to crush it. So I have to now cut this, because I want it smooth. I have to use this big pipe cutter, and I score it around first. If you have one of these at home, it has to be quite large. And then I can finish cutting through. And so if you're doing this at home, you might just want to do the hacksaw, because otherwise I have here about $60 worth of tools. And you're not going to want to go out and spend $60 on tools. But, and frankly, if you're going to do the largest, which you could use a ratchety type with, they have to be really good ones. Otherwise you won't get a straight cut, and even so you're going to get a little bit of an angle there. Again, these are not manufactured. They're going to look just like you did at home, except I really try to make them even and without burrs, and I take all the writing off. Anyway, I've come up with 2 things that I think are helpful. For your existing stands, you can do this at home. The first thing is, I noticed if I'm making a lot of scarves in a row, sometimes my 1/2 inch rod wanted to work its way out of here while I had my cover pipes on. So now you can see that I have put screws down through the elbow. And this is the same size screws you used to construct your pipe stand in the first place. So when you bought your screws, you bought Pan Phillips head metal screws that were number 8 by 5/8 inches long, and you used 6 of them along your base. Well, that probably came in a pack of 14, and so you have spares. Take and just drill a hole right through your elbow. Make sure your 1/2 inch rod is pushed way in there, and drill a hole through your elbow and down into your 1/2 inch rod, and that will keep your 1/2 inch rod from falling out. And the other thing is that again, you can wrap your pipe with the sticky mat like Constance suggested, or I was using masking tape, and I think both of those work nice. They work just fine. But just aesthetically, I thought I would try to come up with something else. So the ones I'm selling, and you could do this too, and I'll explain how. You're just going to drill a hole. Let me pick this up again. You'll see that in front of the elbow there's a little hole that goes all the way through my 1/2 inch rod on both sides, and you'll see that I've done the same thing on the cover pipes. And what I did was I made this hole, and frankly on my own stand, this isn't my own stand, this is nicer than my own stand, because I made a couple of mistakes on my own stand. On my own stand, I just came out from this elbow 3/8 of an inch, and holding my drill at the same angle as this. If you hold it straight down, you're going to be you want to be perpendicular to the pipes. You need to hold your drill at an angle, or take it off. And I used a drill press stand to make these holes for the ones I'm selling. But you want to go through that pipe, and you want it centered about 3/8 inch back, or whatever number you want, but from the elbow. And then you're going to do the same thing on your cover pipes, but you want to make sure when you put your cover pipe on that there's enough space So you might even want to bring your hole that's through your 1/2 inch rod another 1/16 of an inch out in case your cut isn't straight. Because when you put these on, they should be interchangeable, and it won't matter, you know, what side they're up or down. And then I just purchased cotter pins. And the reason I used cotter pins was there's a little loop at the top of a cotter pin that you can put your yarn through. I linked them together with bulky yarn, and this way the yarn doesn't get tangled up when it's in your bag or knotted, or if it does, it's easy to undo, and you won't lose your cotter pins. And then the cotter pins just come in a bag. I used, for all these projects, 1/8 inch by 2 inches long, because it has to go through your biggest pipe, which is your 1.5 inch pipe, but in reality it's 1 7/8 diameter. So use 1/8 by 2 inch cotter pins. The hole you want to drill is a little bit bigger. So you can see the 1/8 inch cotter pin, the next size up is 9/64. So you want to drill holes slightly larger than your cotter pin. And that's because this is not an exact science, and it will be very difficult to line it up if you try to use the same size as the cotter pin. And then once your pipe is over there, place your cotter pin down in the hole. You might have to rotate your outer pipe slightly just to get the line up, because again, this is not a perfect science, but that will slide down in there. Do the same thing over here. Again, make sure that either your hole that goes to the 1/2 inch pipe is a little farther out than the one you put through the pipe, or vice versa, even if it's a 1/16 of an inch. And that way you will make sure that you, as you can see, that pipe is actually up against the elbow, not over the elbow. That would be impossible to do with some of the smaller pipes. And then once you put your pipe on there, you might have to rotate a little bit, and it should snap right down in there. If you have trouble getting your cotter pin in, just turn your pipe stand around, and you can actually visualize how that hole comes through the other side. But you shouldn't need to do it. And I've checked all the ones. I've made 5 for sale, but I check all the pipes to make sure they're going to be interchangeable, and it doesn't matter what side you have up. So, but you can do that at home with your drill. If you have a drill press, it works even easier. Try to get those holes down there. And then each set I sell will come with the 1/2 inch stand and then 4 sizes of cover pipe. This is your smallest, and this is your largest, and it'll come in just a little upcycled fabric bag. And that's it. And
how do they get it?
Oh, so sorry. So you can email me at laurasbusycorner@gmail.com, and I'll even take PayPal. I set up a PayPal account, and I'm in the process of designing a little web page too, but that's going to take a while. Oh, $25. And you pay actual shipping. I'm not charging like a shipping and handling, and I'll ship it the cheapest way I can. So if you'll send me your zip code when you email me and let me know you want one. So I'm not crazy about making these. I'm not saying I don't want to do it, but I don't have anybody manufacturing these, but I'll be more than happy to make you one and sell you one, because I really think this is fun. And the people that really love this, I find the most, are young ladies who don't know how to knit and crochet, and older women like myself who are having a little trouble with their hands. So if you're going to make a pipe stand for yourself, make one for your niece or your cousin or the little girl down the street, and they'll have a blast. So I really believe in this technique, and I think it's really fun, and so that's why I'm more than happy to make you a stand.